Greetings to the best family on YouTube, well, in our opinions at least, our EDC family. I'm your host, Profit. With me as always is the Professor. And we've got a special guest for you folks today. In the studio here on the compound, we have Hurc. I know you've heard a little bit about Hurc here and there in the studio. Hurc is a local knife maker, and he is joining us in studio, EDC family, for this very special edition of Carryorbury.
Hey EDC family, Hurc here. So happy to join you guys and join Profit here for the video today.
And he means it. I'm not kidding. At any rate, what we always like to start with here is what we were carrying for the day. This is what I was carrying today, EDC family. My primary knife was the Spyderco PM2 with the copper handles in Rex 45. I also had a copper pen today with me. Pretty cool. And of course, because, you know, it's me and I'm about as dorky as they get, I wanted to complete the copper with my Olight copper flashlight. I mean, hell, you really can't go wrong, can you? I mean, that's just the way we do things here, EDC family. So we've got our Olight, we have got our copper pen, we have got our beautiful Spyderco PM2, and honestly, we're looking pretty good. But you always know I have a backup knife, right? Or smaller knife, and that is going to be this little guy today. This is the Rosecraft. Beautiful little swedge knife. I absolutely adore this little guy. Fits really nicely in my hand. Has a very nice walk and talk. I mean, very nice. You really can't go wrong there. Great little knife. So, and you're probably thinking to yourself, well, Profit, that's the knife and that's the flashlight, but what was your pocket piece today? Well, we went copper as well. We're just all coppered out, folks. I tell you what, Factor's trying to walk and talk there. We'll kind of put him up there. So we have this beautiful little Metal 2 Olight copper pocket piece. It's 1 ounce of pure copper. Pretty cool. I actually love that. Hurc, are you carrying anything today?
I am. I actually have the Civivi Am I Right?
Hurc, I don't know if you can get your hand in there, but could you give her a little flick or two for us? Or
yeah.
See if you can get it on camera too. Amazing.
Yeah, nice reverse Tonto.
Beautiful little knife.
I'd use it daily.
One more time, if you could just pop it up there and tell the folks what it was.
Civivi Am I Right? The green handle.
Button lock too. I love that OD green.
Yeah, flipper button lock's kind of my jam.
I know it's pretty much in the daytime here, but did you have any flashlights on you today?
I do not today.
Perfect, that's okay.
Kind of light today.
Hey, we've been there, right? Light is light, dark is dark, and let's move on. So I know, folks, we talked a little bit about what we were gonna do today, and what we are gonna do is our very first unboxing. We're gonna have a short hit really soon here, and on that short, it is going to be pretty neat, actually. On our short, we're going to have something that we haven't had in a while. We actually found this little guy in our yard. We were out, Hurc and I were out using the drone and using the metal detector, and we happened upon this on the compound. That usually means that Brian Winters has been around, don't you think, Hurc?
Yeah, must have made a visit like the Easter Bunny and dropped off a little gift. I
tell you, when you got a guy that works so much with magnets and steel, you really never know what he's going to do. I mean, I tell you, he calls me up. He says, Profit, you know, I hate to say this, but there's a brand new limited edition Severn somewhere on your property. If you got a metal detector, you better get out there before the box gets wet. Sure enough, we went out on the property, and a couple acres of walking around later, we end up walking into this little guy. Thank God we had the metal detector. So we want to send our thanks out to Brian Winters here. Now, the little disclosure, ladies and gentlemen, this knife was purchased by us, and because we know Brian and he's in our home state, that doesn't mean we're going to automatically give Brian a pass on everything that he does. It's just not how we roll here. But what I will say is that working with Winterblade, you really do get some outstanding knives. Now, you folks have seen the Factor. We've actually already had that on the channel. We had our actual full review on the Factor. And again, you can see it right here in camera. But what you don't know is that there is going to be some Mirages coming out very soon from Winterblade, and you will be able to pick up a really awesome magnetic Mirage. We'll have all the information in the description. We'll go ahead and pack these up there. But I thought it'd be really fun to take a Mirage out today, show you guys a nice first look here of this little guy, give you some ideas of some of the beautiful stuff you're going to end up seeing. And we're going to use this to open up our very own Winterblade Severn. Now, before we open it, I was actually doing some research because Brian's always got some really fun stories on how he names his knives. For instance, the Factor has got a really cool name, right? And it's one of the very first magnetic operated steel knives, and it's super fidgety, super fun. One of my favorite knives, absolutely hands down. Love the Factor. And I've got both the B1 variant and the B2 variant. I haven't hit the B3 variant yet, but believe me, I will. So picking up one of these little guys, these Mirages, these are amazing. And again, these are all pretty magnetic, right? But the Severn that we're going to see, it has a little hidden magnetic feature, but it's not really a magnetic driven knife. So I was talking to Brian about it, and he actually sent me an email kind of outlining where he came up with the name Severn. And as you know, normally when we do our carryorbury videos, we usually start with the name. Is that right, Hurc?
Absolutely.
So because we're not doing a full review, a full carryorbury game on the Severn, because hell, we gotta carry it, right, Hurc?
Absolutely.
What we're gonna do is something a little bit different. We are just gonna do our box opening on it, and we're gonna leave you guys be. And then in about a month from now, we'll check back after I've carried it for a month, and we'll give you an update. Now, what Brian says is there's actually a really fun story behind the name Severn. So the Severn was inspired by a bass guitar, the Nags Severn, okay? So Brian is a bass player himself. And now and then on Instagram, he chats with the bass player from Morgan Wallen. Pretty darn cool. I believe his name is Luke Rice. So one day he was showing him some of his basses, and one of which was his Severn. Brian hadn't actually heard of the brand or the name before, and he remarked that Severn would also make a really cool name for a knife. Guess what? Pretty much right at that moment, he then decided he was going to design a knife around that name. How amazing is that? That's what I love about Brian. He really has one of those unique minds that we don't see very often. So that's literally exactly how the name of Severn came about. It was directly inspired by his chat about bass guitars. Now, as it turns out, that developed something pretty special, at least for him. But I wonder if it's going to be special for us. Now, the lock on the Severn, which Brian calls the stealth lock, is his first patent-pending mechanism. We got to take a second to appreciate that. We've seen some pretty amazing things come out of Winterblade, but seeing a brand new patent-pending locking mechanism for someone who honestly hasn't been in the knife business for 10 decades is really beautiful. So we want to say we really hope that that patent comes through quickly without any issues for Brian, and we're looking forward to taking our first look at it. So Brian does have additional patents in the works now, but that one was the first. So we are going to get into the Severn. Now, as you can see, we have not even had a brief peek at this little guy, right? So we are going to open her for the first time. Thank you, Mr. Mirage. Let's put that right up here. And let's open her up. So look at that. Right away, you see you get the Winterblade box. Look at this. All right, folks, we're going to open this little guy here. And you get a Winterblade card here. This one is the Magna Cut with the aluminum handles, batch number 1. It's got Brian's signature here. Let's see if we can get that in the video here. Oh my goodness. There we go. And we also have another card from Brian in here. Just kind of gives us a web address and a portal for the information there. Got that there. And what? Oh, that's really cool. It's a magnet. We actually got a really neat little magnet from Winterblade. I always love seeing some really cool gear that you get from this. But I guess that's all just the swag. What we all came for, honestly, folks, is this. Let's get her all lined up, huh? Well, let's take our very first peek at the Winterblade Severn. Oh, wow. Wow, look at this. So we get our little Winterblade themed cloth, cleaning cloth, which is always nice. Thank you, Brian, for sending that along. And well, we're just going to use our carryorbury guy here. Let's pull the knife out. Look at that, Hurc. Are you seeing this, bud?
That's beautiful.
Let's
Little
kind of
Damascus pattern on there.
Let's kind of get that first opening here. Man, wait till you hold this. Oh,
Oh, I love that blade shape.
wow. I'm pretty blown away. This feels so much differently than I thought it was gonna. So this is that patented stealth lock. Oh, look at that on the back. Look at this locking mechanism, boys and girls. So when this pulls down, it pulls down this whole area here. And that obviously is going to free the blade. I mean, pretty cool. Now, what's really interesting is normally, Hurc, when you see knives like this, okay, you've got obviously your pocket clip there, but you see that thumb stud right there?
Yep.
Right here? I'm going to show the EDC family kind of a little bit closer. This thumb stud right here on the knife, there is this tiny little magnet feature back here, and you can actually take this guy off, right? And move it to the other side.
Oh, nice. Reversible.
Completely reversible. You know, it's Brian, right? So he's got to have a magnetic feature for us. I mean, he wouldn't be Brian without that, I don't think. And honestly, that's one of the things that I love about him is, although, you know, as he grows in his tooling and he grows in his design, which obviously you see here with this magnificent knife. Oh, wait till you feel this, Hurc. I'm going to let Hurc's hand here in the video, folks, and let him flip her a couple times. And while he's doing that, we're going to talk a little bit about this guy here. Look at that.
Wow. I just love that reverse Tonto, kind of Warncliffy blade shape.
I mean, doesn't it feel like it's got some heft to it too?
I love that in a knife. I like to know that I'm holding something when I'm holding the knife.
And then when you feel the factor, you know, if you were to, let's open this guy and put her down. Let's put the factor next to him here, Hurc. I mean, you see the size difference.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty substantial.
Absolutely.
But man, you can really feel that blade in your hands, and it feels so nice. You can go ahead and do that here. So obviously, I'm going to go through the specs of the Severn for you guys real quick, and then we'll kind of go from there. So we talked a little bit about the heart of the Severn is Brian's patent pending compression spring-based stealth lock, which is the guy that we've seen right here. This is our stealth lock. We're going to make sure we don't cut ourselves here. God, this is just beautiful. So you've got the stealth cut there, okay? Now, what's really interesting is you actually have some really, really neat releases with that. So you can either pull down on the lock studs, right? Or on the lock tab, there's a tab cleverly hidden along the spine of the handle. And that's right here. And it's pretty much hidden, as you can see. You can actually pull down on that as well, and that will bring her up and down. So it's really, really neat. And I don't know, does that come? Yeah, it does. So I'm going to actually get the little tool in here, folks, for you to see it. So that hidden release is right here. We're going to kind of come up on the camera. You can see that here.
I'd imagine that's the inspiration for the name Stealth Lock.
Amen, brother. Very well said. So yeah, you can see that little guy right there that you can articulate up and down. And it's literally right in all that magic right there. Lovely. Man, I tell you what, that's just, I mean, no matter which way you do that. And it's actually interesting. I have really fat, terrible fingers, you know, and I can grab that stealth lock really nicely. Man, that's pretty cool. I'm telling you. I can dig that. I don't know about you, Hurc, but I can dig that. So let's talk a little bit about the Stealth Lock offers, right? So according to Winterblade.com's website, the Stealth Lock offers both excellent convenience and incredible fidget factor, which we just showed you. While the Severn is Winterblade's very first spring-based production folder, remember, it does have that nifty little magnetic feature that we just showed you. It's that one-sided magnetic thumb stud that can be switched to either side of the blade or removed altogether, and instantly, as you've seen, with no tools. The magnetic stud is perfectly secure, and it offers another really fun way to play the blade, as you can see. I mean, it really does. It's a really neat little option. In short, guys, the Severn has it all. A full list of features, including, right, what we just talked about, the patented pending stealth lock, the dual lock actuation, which is on the lock bar and the spine itself. It has that hidden spine actuation. It's very smooth, actually. It's got a compression spring lock for the action. It's got steel lock plates inside, 4 primary blade deployment methods, a quick change magnetic thumb stud, which we talked about, requiring no tools. Okay, we also have the 775 aluminum with the laser wave engravement on this particular model. This one also has the stone-washed MagnaCut steel blade. It's fully amphibious, just kidding, actually it probably is, but fully ambidextrous features, right? Reversible milled pocket clip, ergonomic skeletonized handles or scales, whichever you like to call them, and I can actually see the work that's been done in those. Anti-blade bounce geometry. I mean, you see that, that's pretty darn cool. Most of the time when you close a knife like that, it's gonna bounce. This one does not. Large chamfered blade window. You've got that really awesome extra large finger choil. Easy access blade window ramps. And guess what? If you do wanna take it apart, you've got single T8 screw sizes throughout for a relatively simple disassembly. Overall blade length is 3 1/4 inches. The blade edge length is about 2.75 inches. The handle length is going to be 4.5 inches, which gives you 7 75 total inches. Max handle width is going to be 1 1/4 inches. When the knife is closed and everything's all pogged up, you've got about, right here, you've got about, I'd say about 1.5 total inches or so. Handle thickness is going to be 7/16. The titanium handles are going to be different, obviously, than the aluminum handles. You'll be at 4.6 ounces on the titanium, 3.8 on the aluminum. The G10 is 3.5. Their OEM partner on this is Bestex, so you know you're getting an awesome, very well done knife. Now, we talked a little bit about the differences. This is one of only 200 of the Severns that will ever be sold. Now, I've seen some people on Reddit complaining about that because they've seen that the orange one is available again right now on the batch 2. Well, guys, there's a reason for that, and I talked to Brian about that. And although there's only going to be 200 of it ever made, they didn't sell all 200 of the orange one during the first batch, which is why you're seeing the orange one and the orange one alone have very limited spots. Very limited spots. So I'm telling you, get over to Winterblade Co. website and get that ordered. We'll have all Winterblade's information in the description for you folks. Don't worry about that. We're not going to leave you hanging. And so we're not trying to be super stealth about this, right? You can tell this is an unboxing. This is a first impression. This has nothing to do with carrying the knife and using it. But I'm not going to have to be too stealthy about this. First impressions of this are fantastic. So honestly, and even the MagnaCut guys, the HRC on this is between 61 and 63. You do have the one-piece milled titanium with the black PVD coating. Guys, this is pretty cool. Honestly, I really can't go wrong. Now, we're going to quick finish this up, but I do got something else I'm going to get into. But about our knife today and all others that we've had on our channel, remember, we're YouTubers, not lawyers. You should never get advice from anyone that is not a professional. Seriously, guys, look into, know about your knife laws, talk to a lawyer or other trusted professional. It does not hurt to visit, and if at all possible, support atki.org. They are the American Tool and Knife Administration, okay? And they are on the front lines helping us keep our freedoms and rights. Now, remember, in all universes, right, this one and all those across all time and space and all social media sites, you can easily find us by searching for carryorbury or at carryorbury and just look for the logo. Until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp, keep those flashlights charged, and keep those band-aids close. Remember, no matter how cool the Severn is, right? You are the best tool in your EDC loadout. God bless you all. See you next time. And even though this video is going to be concluded, stick around for a minute because we've got an extra scene for you folks. See you next time. Thank you, Brian Winters. Thank you, Winterblade, for making such unbelievable knives. And you know what? I understand that this was not given to us, but you know what? I don't care. This was a great purchase. I look forward to carrying it. And I'm telling you guys, it feels amazing in the hand. I mean, it really does. It feels absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to get my hands on more of Winterblade's stuff. Greetings to the best family on YouTube. Well, in our opinion at least, our wonderful and fantastic EDC family. I'm your host, Profit. With me as always is the professor. And you might be noticing I'm not holding a knife today. Well, there's a little bit of a reason for that, folks. We've got someone in studio that helped us with one of our unboxing videos that we did recently. We've got Hurc in studio.
How we doing, EDC family?
EDC family, Hurc is a local knife maker, and he's just starting, but I tell you what, he's already got some amazing stuff going for him. And he brought some stuff that I'm going to get to show you today. We are going to do a little show and tell here, and I haven't seen this yet, but Hurc brought me a gift today, made this for me. This is one of the first knives that he's ever put together. Hurc, tell me a little bit about what got you into knife making.
Yeah, actually Profit here got me into knife making and kind of the whole interest in knives. He kind of got me my first knife, I believe, and kind of showed me how useful things were to carry around and how useful it could be to have kind of an EDC loadout every day. So he got me into the hobby, I guess I would say, of EDC and interested in knives. And I've always been kind of a hobby person and liked making stuff with my hands. So making knives just kind of came natural as the next step. So yeah, this is the first one that I made, and definitely learning a lot as I go through the process, but it's been a lot of fun.
Now guys, when we're all finished with this video, remember Hurc is a local knife maker. Everything is done by hands. He doesn't have super fancy equipment yet. He's just really started learning the whole process and getting into heat treating and sanding and all the things that go into making a knife. Obviously it could be very daunting for someone that's new, but even though he's new, he's really committed himself to moving forward, and he's already got workable knives, as you're going to be able to see in a moment. Again, this is one of his first knives. Hurc, what was the name of this knife?
This one is the Balance.
The Balance.
For a couple different reasons. You'll notice the scale, there's kind of a contrast in the color of the scales. Also kind of a contrast between the blade itself and then the handle. The blade's a little more modern and the handle's a little bit more, I don't know, classic, I guess you would say. But so the Balance is what this one is.
That's a sharp boy, isn't it?
Got a convex grind on there.
I'm seeing the convex grind. For you folks that don't know about a convex grind, especially on a knife like this that's going to be used as a chopper or a slicer, man, that is, wow, holy cow, this really came out nice. The balance on this thing is amazing.
Tried to pay homage to the name with that as well, yeah.
Wow, guys, this is balancing out almost perfectly on the choil. That is beautiful. I love what you did through here.
Yeah, maple and wenge. For the handle there, a dark wood and a light wood to kind of contrast and
looks like we want copper.
Bells. Brass.
Oh, brass,
some
forgive
brass
me.
Pins, yep.
Man, oh, I love that jumping.
1084 steel, and yeah. So yeah, just kind of my first attempt. I think it turned out all right.
All right. Yeah, you know, we're going to go ahead and agree that it turned out all right, actually. I think, ooh, that's sharp. This thing turned out really good. That is a beautiful boy. Now, folks, we're going to have Hurc's information in the description here. So if you want him to make you something, again, remember, he's learning as we go, but if there's a certain design that you feel like you want to see come to life, I'm sure he'll collaborate with you. He's got a lot of talent. I mean, like this is one of the first things he's put together. I don't know if you've ever tried a hand in knife making, but the first thing that I ever put together, I can't even use it really as a weight for paper because it's deadly dangerous, and I'll probably need a tetanus shot just looking at it. With that being said, Hurc's working on a couple brand new that he brought over today. These are not finished. In fact, if I'm correct on this, Hurc, these were just heat treated?
They were just, yep, heat treated and tempered today. So
they're very rough, folks. This is kind of what you're dealing with when you're doing, wow. Look at that.
And again, kind of with this one, I went with kind of a modern and a classic kind of shape to it. Obviously, the blade is going to be very modern, reverse tanto, flat grind. And then the handle I plan on doing kind of the old buck style knife with the brass and the walnut handle.
Oh, that's going to look nice.
Yeah, so kind of a mix between old and new.
I tell you, if you are a guy like me that has good sized hands, I'm not going to lie to you, these are going to feel I mean, they already actually, even without the handles, these feel great. Where do you get your design from? Your muse, where does it come from?
I just like to think about kind of what would look cool and what I would like to see. Obviously, I've got a Tonto that I made first, now a reverse Tonto. I'm definitely a fan of the Tonto blade shape.
Oh yeah, this is absolutely
just love
gorgeous.
the utility, you know, the usability of it and what you can use it for. But I've made a couple other ones. I think I'm going to have a picture, and hopefully Profit will put it up here, of some other ones I've done.
Absolutely.
I've done just some classic kind of Skinner style, smaller ones, which is kind of your traditional blade shape. But I really like the Tonto, reverse Tonto, straight blade edge kind of shapes. But interested in trying a bunch of different things. So.
Wow, I tell you what, Hurc, let me ask you a question. What's the steel on these guys?
Well, those are 1084 as well. I'm just kind of starting with the 1084 because that's one of your easy ones to quench and heat treat and do all those things with. Shapes up very nice with a grinder. I just have a 1x30 sanding belt.
You're doing all this work with a 1x30?
Yeah, right now. Starting small.
I'll tell you what, folks. I think as we're growing here, having people like Hurc that like to work with his hands and are really coming into, you know, he's a young guy. And I'm telling you, with somebody who's got a lot of the hunger that he's getting for the EDC world, it'd be really nice if we get him some support, because I'll tell you what, the Brian Winters of the world, you know, they're few and far in between. We'd love to have some more people come through. Hurc, these are beautiful. Thank you for bringing these with. Is there a name for these guys yet?
Well, that's a work in progress. So I'm hoping I can get some help from the EDC family here.
Wow.
If you guys have any recommendations or ideas or things that you think would sound cool with what you've just seen, go ahead and throw them in the comments. We'll be keeping an eye on it, and who knows, if we see one we like, we might decide to go with it. We'll see.
Remember, throw them in the comments. And if you forgot, this little guy is named the Balance, right? Which you can tell is very, man, this thing, it balances like you wouldn't believe. So this feels so good. You've got the Balance in your hand. EDC family, we need help with the name of the reverse Tonto. Some of the names that I said were, I thought about calling it the Breaker, was one of them, because then you've got Balance and then the Breaker, right? Balance, Breaker. What was the other one I said out there?
Trial.
The Trial, since Hurc's nickname is Hurc for Hercules, and I know we don't show our photos on here, EDC family, but Hurc, why don't you throw your hand in there and grab that knife? You think I have big hands, EDC family? This man looks like a bear got on steroids. We'll just say that. That's what we're going to say. So EDC family, again, we're going to be looking for a name of this little guy right here. Feel free to give us your thoughts. All of Hurc's information will be in the description. Man, that is awesome. We'd love to hear from you on what you think of the new name should be. In the meantime, if you would like to own one of the Balances, let Hurc know. I'm sure he wouldn't mind making a second batch. He's also got a smaller knife that he calls the Cowboy. Hopefully I'll get a picture from him and put that on there. Or if you've got any other ideas, like I said, Hurc's a new knife maker. He's thirsty, he's ready to go, and he's ready for you, EDC family. Looking for some handmade stuff, be the first one on his books. I have a feeling this is going to be worth some money one day. So we're going to go ahead and put her away. Fits very nicely in there. Look at that. Oops. And Profit doesn't know how to lock things. We're going to put her away, but we thank Hurc. Man, that is awesome. This is going to go in the safe. Now, Hurc, whenever we're finished with the video, have you got to watch any of our videos in the past?
Of course I have, Profit.
Do you kind of remember what we say when we're ending a video?
Absolutely. Until next time, EDC family, keep those blades sharp, flashlights charged, keep your Band-Aids close. Remember, you are the best tool in your daily EDC loadout. God bless you, and see you next time.
So we're out of Band-Aids, but we have Band-Aids. You're going to need them if you buy a knife from Hurc. God bless, EDC family. See you next time.